Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. How I would book it. Now, to be honest, you don't even really need too much of a build or a hype or even a title for this match because the narrative for it kind of writes itself. Two super strong athletic women with a similar background and similar attitude, style, and swagger clashing heads at the biggest stage of them all. Now, some WWE and some IWC faithfuls think that Jade Cargill is still a little bit raw. She needs work on her promos a little bit more, and they even think she needs a little bit more seasoning in the ring. But regardless of that, this is a top money match. You do not want to wait too late to pull the trigger on a match this big. But as far as the booking for this match, I would actually have this as a trilogy, a three-parter. I would start it on just a random episode of Raw with Bianca Belair cutting a promo about how she's Miss WrestleMania, but yet she doesn't have an opponent at the biggest WrestleMania of them all. And then boom, Jade Cargill comes out there, stares her down, cuts a short, sweet, and to the point promo, and says, "You don't have an opponent, but neither do I. Let's make this happen." And Bianca is like, "Okay, fine, on one condition. You should prove yourself in the coming weeks and have a match against one of the top females in the company." And she says, "If you can do that, then fine, you've got your match." And Jade says, "Okay, fine. So let's just say she goes up against a member of the formerly known stable known as Damage Control and wins that match." And after Jade wins that match, Bianca comes out, gives her a round of applause, and says, "Well done. But I'm going to show you how it's really done." Bianca goes out there against another top women's competitor, let's just say someone like Raquel Rodriguez, puts on a stellar match and says, "Anything you can do, I can do better." And for good measure, let's just say that on the Raw before WrestleMania, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill have a tag team match together, and they win it. So boom, now here we are, WrestleMania 40. Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill won. They go out there, have a star-studded match, one of the matches of the entire weekend, going back and forth, high-flying spots, power move spots, submissions, kicks, crashing through the tables, fighting on the outside of the ring. They pretty much steal the damn show. But for the very first time, Bianca Belair loses at WrestleMania clean. 1-0 Jade Cargill. Boom. Fast forward the night after WrestleMania. Jade Cargill goes out there to cut her promo, and right before she can do so, out comes Bianca Belair to congratulate her. Bianca says, "Hey, you gave me one of the greatest matches of my career, and while I'm disappointed that I lost, still, good match." And right before she shakes her hand, out comes Nia Jax. So Nia Jax goes out there and cuts the promo and says, "Bianca, you're a loser. And Jade Cargill, your win over Bianca means nothing because I can beat you both." And then Bianca and Jade both say, "All right, prove it. Let's have a triple threat match tonight on Raw." So they both agree. They say, "Okay, fine. Let's have a triple threat match." And they go out there, have a 15-20 minute classic, but Bianca gets the pin over Nia Jax. And while Jade didn't win, Jade still looks discouraged. Jade still says, "I have something to prove." So she's going to challenge Nia at the very next pay-per-view. And at the same time, Bianca says, "I'm not going to let the loss to Jade discourage me. So guess what? I'm going to go back to chasing the title." So Jade Cargill and Nia Jax have a miniature feud leading up to SummerSlam, while Bianca goes back on the title chase. But every time she goes back on the title chase, she just comes up short, whether it's a screw job or whether she loses in a dirty fashion or gets counted out. There's always something that she always comes up just short of winning the title. And you see her get discouraged over the next few months. And after one of Bianca's title losses, you see her in a backstage segment with Montez Ford, and you see her discouraged and upset. And then Montez says, "Babe, what's going on with you? You haven't been right ever since the loss to Jade Cargill. Is everything all right?" And then she just walks off and says nothing. See, you slowly but surely start to see Bianca turn heel. Also before SummerSlam, let's just say that Bianca wins the Money in the Bank. And at SummerSlam, Bianca and Jade have their second match, but with the added stipulation. Bianca gets challenged by Jade for her Money in the Bank contract. They go out there, SummerSlam, have a star-studded match. It's not quite as good as the first one, but it's still kind of on par with it. But this time, Bianca goes over, but she doesn't go over clean. She hits Jade with the briefcase. The ref doesn't see it. Pin 1, 2, 3. Once again, you slowly start to see Bianca turn heel. Then boom, fast forward on the road to Survivor Series War Games, where you slowly but surely start to see Jade Cargill build up herself as a force on the main roster, and you slowly start to see Bianca Belair turn heel. And let's just say that at Survivor Series War Games, Bianca Belair is teamed up with Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, Bayley, and the man Becky Lynch. And they win the match. They go over. But guess what? After the match, Bianca cashes in on the champion. Boom. She wins the women's champion again. Now fast forward to Royal Rumble 2025. Bianca Belair faces off against Nia Jax for the women's title at the Royal Rumble, while Jade Cargill enters the Royal Rumble at number 29. And guess what? Bianca retains against Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill is the 2025 Royal Rumble winner. So boom, there's your setup for the WrestleMania 25 match for the women's title. So, in WrestleMania 41, you have face Jade Cargill going up against heel champion Bianca Belair. And Bianca insists that her win over her last WrestleMania was a fluke. And guess what? She goes on a tear to prove it. She says, I'm going to go into Elimination Chamber, defend my title, and win. I'll see you at WrestleMania. Bianca Belair retains the title at Elimination Chamber. And in the same fashion, Jade Cargill comes out there and gives her a round of applause and says, congratulations, I'll see you at WrestleMania. Boom. Fast forward 2 weeks before WrestleMania. They have the official contract signing. Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill for the women's title. And guess what? In typical heel fashion, after the contract sign, boom, Bianca attacks Jade and does the KOD through a table. And now, not only is it for the title, but now it's personal. WrestleMania 41, Night 1 main event, Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair, the rubber match for the women's title. And they go out there and have a 5-star classic match. It was better than the first and the second one. And guess what? This time, Jade goes over. So at the end of Night 1 of WrestleMania 41, you see Jade Cargill holding the women's title high, and you see the fireworks. So guys, how'd I do?